In this video, we're going to talk about one of the world's most iconic and, let's be honest, often misunderstood predators, the wolf. We're going to cover everything from their basic biology to their global presence and their super complex social lives. So yeah, we're breaking down all you need to know. Let's dive right in. First up, let's meet the star of the show, the gray wolf, or Canis lupus if you want to get scientific. As the biggest wild member of the dog family, these animals are absolute masters of adaptation. I mean, big and thrive in some of the harshest climates you can imagine. Okay, so to really get to know these animals, we've got to start with the fundamentals. What makes a wolf a wolf? Well, at their very core, wolves are mammals. This puts them in the Candidae family, which basically makes them cousins to our pet dogs and even foxes. And just like them, it means they're warm-blooded, they've got fur, and the moms feed their pups with milk. So, how long do they get to stick around? Out in the tough, unforgiving wild, a wolf might live for about 13 years, max. But get this, in the safety of a zoo or a sanctuary away from all those dangers, they can live for up to 20 years. And when it comes to starting a family, a female wolf usually has a litter of about 4 to 6 pups. They're born in the spring, after a pregnancy that lasts around 63 days, which is perfect timing, right? That's when food starts to get easier to find. So, what's on the menu for a wolf? Well, they're carnivores, and they love to hunt big, hoofed animals. We're talking deer, moose, and elk. They're super smart hunters, too. They usually go after the old, sick, or weak animals in a herd. Here's the thing, hunting is incredibly hard. They might only succeed once out of every 12 tries. That means they can go for days without a big meal. Alright, so that's the wolf up close and personal. But now let's zoom out and take a look at their global footprint. Where in the world are these guys living? I mean, just look at this map. Wolves are kind of everywhere across the northern hemisphere. From the deep forests of Europe and Asia to the mountains and frozen tundra of North America, they figured out how to make a home in a crazy variety of places. So what does that look like in total numbers? The best guess right now is around 250,000 gray wolves worldwide. Now that might sound like a lot, but it's just a tiny fraction of what our population used to be. Sadly, habitat loss and conflict with humans have really shrunk their numbers over the years. But here's where the story gets really interesting. If you look at this chart, you'll see a positive trend. In places like Europe and the United States, wolf populations are actually stable or even increasing thanks to a lot of hard conservation work. Canada and Russia still have the biggest populations, holding pretty steady. Okay, let's zoom back in from that global view right to the heart of wolf life, the pack. We all have this idea of how wolf pack works, but the reality, it's way more interesting. And it's all about family. So this brings up the million-dollar question. Who's in charge of the pack? You've definitely heard the term alpha wolf, right? That super tough wolf who fights his way to the top and rules with an iron paw. But is that actually how it works? Well, here's the plot twist. The biologist who first made our whole alpha wolf idea famous, David Mech, is the same guy who later said, "Whoops, I got that wrong." He realized his original idea came from watching unrelated wolves that were forced to live together in captivity. It wasn't natural behavior at all. So let's break this down. Myth versus reality. The myth is that a pack is this constant battle for dominance, but the reality is much simpler and frankly, much nicer. A wild wolf pack is just a family. The leaders aren't some ruthless bosses, they're literally just mom and dad. And the rest of the pack? They're their kids. So here's how the real structure works. It all starts with the parents, the breeding care, who usually stay together for life. They're typically the only ones who have pups. And then, and this is the cruel part, the whole family, even the older brothers and sisters from previous years, all chip in to help raise the new little ones. It's a cooperative family, not a dictatorship. Okay, so we've got the family dynamic down, but what about life outside the pack? Let's take a look at how wolves fit into the bigger picture. Who are their enemies? And maybe more surprisingly, who are their friends? Let's be real, life is tough out there for a wolf. Their biggest threat, by far, is humans, both from hunting and from us taking over their habitats. Out in nature, they also have to compete with other big predators like bears for food. And they're very territorial, so they definitely don't like it when another wolf pack wanders into their turf. But it's not all conflict and competition. There's this really cool thing in nature called mutualism. It's basically where two completely different species team up in a way that helps both of them out. And wolves have an amazing example of this. And the wolf's best partner in crime? It's an unlikely friend, The raven. In fact, ravens are often called wolf birds. These super smart birds will actually follow wolf packs, waiting for them to make a kill so they can swoop in and get the leftovers. In the winter, wolves do them a huge favor by tearing open frozen animals, but the ravens just can't get into. The bond is so strong, people have even seen ravens playing with wolf pups. How cool is that? Alright, to start wrapping things up, let's hit you with a quick fire round of 5 awesome facts you might not know about wolves. First, that famous howl isn't for the moon. It's basically a long distance phone call to find other pack members. Second, they have 42 seriously powerful teeth, designed to grip, tear, and even crush bone. Third, they are fast, hitting speeds of up to 38 miles per hour when they need to. Fourth, newborn pups are completely helpless. They're born blind, deaf, and only weigh about a pound. And finally, a pack's territory can be huge. We're talking up to 1,000 square miles. That's bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. So there you have it. From a tight-knit family to a global predator, the wolf is one complex and resilient animal. And as their numbers slowly start to bounce back, it leads us to the really important question for our future. How can we, humans and wolves, learn to share this planet together? Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.